Hi empaths, welcome to Heart Space Wellness Alliance. Here's my healing room. Let's get started. Hi empaths, welcome back to my channel and healing space for another reading. I'm going to clear the space, the cards, our auras, invoke angels, guides, compassionate ancestors, beings of the light who want to inform this reading for the most concise, informative, resonant message that's of priority for the listener to hear at this time. Thank you. That was a good one. Go into the Angel Oracle card, or original angel cards by Kathy Tyler and Joy Drake to see what's priority to look at right now. Healing. Healing. That's great to look at. I'm definitely on a healing path. Looks like you may be as well. Let's see. What do we want to look at for healing? What oracle cards? I'm going to pull from the Romance Angel cards by Doreen Virtue. That's what I'm being called to. And we'll see what kind of healing we're looking at here. What are we looking to heal right now? Healing is often experiencing the opposite of what we're going through currently, right? So what about healing are we looking at here? What are we healing? Will probably be romantic, about romantic relationship. I was called to look at the Romance Angel cards, so we'll see. Okay. All right, let's get into it. So the first card is separation. So we got a clue about what we're healing here, right? So we're in separation. Either you have yet to meet your loved one, your counterpart, or the person you want to form a partnership with, or you have met and you're currently in a period of no contact or very limited contact, and living separately, right? The card Express Your Love is coming out. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. Be discerning about that. If someone has requested space, the most loving thing to do is to give them that space, right? To provide that space. And they may have done so non-verbally, right? By just taking space. It's actually respectful to just allow them the space. But we can still send love, right? That can be one version of express your love. Sometimes just thinking of them, sending them loving thoughts, right? Sending loving energy instead of building up resentments, right? But being careful about any sort of codependent patterning, right? We're looking at healing any sort of codependency. Are you drawn to people who are addicted to something, who have addictive tendencies? Or are you addicted to a person, right? That's also part of codependency. And also the separation card coming up about codependency. On the spectrum, on the codependency spectrum, when we have the tendency to create codependent entanglements, we will sometimes opt to just isolate out of fear of getting too enmeshed with somebody. Know that that's on the spectrum of codependency, and it's not that we've healed, it's that we are still learning interdependence as opposed to codependency, right? Just shine a light there. How does this healing want to take place? Explore, be curious, seek mentorship and a healer if you're called to. You're also going to want to just be mindful and look for the red flags, right? On your part, where you want to come forward and merge, right? And come out of yourself, put someone else's needs before your own and have no boundaries, right? That's a signpost of a codependent situation, just not having any needs of your own, right? And sometimes we're conditioned as children to do so, right? Because we fear love will be taken away if we have any needs. Because maybe we were shown that that's the case, right? Love was taken away when we expressed an emotion or a need. So we were conditioned to not have any needs. So sort of relinquish even sense of self sometimes. That can create these codependent patterns as well. So just pay attention to how that shows up, right? The signs are cautioning you. This is also about paying attention to the red flags in relationship in general. Are you attracting people who tend to have a common theme, right? They tend to be very similar, or the relationship takes a similar pattern. Ask yourself why that's so, right? Why is that showing up for me? What is that trying to teach me? What can I learn from that? And what do I need to heal inside of myself so that my external experience no longer reflects that? Sometimes we have this pattern of abandoning ourselves, right? This not having any needs. So we abandon ourselves, and then we attract a partner who abandons us, right? We dissociate from our bodies, right? We abandon ourselves and this experience, and then we have a partner who abandons us. Or we are consistently attracted to emotionally unavailable people, right? That's generally a sign that we are not available to ourselves, right? We're not emotionally available to ourselves or present to our emotions. And the origins of the codependent patterning may be this enmeshment with parent, right? An enmeshment with one or both parents. This merging and confused sense of independence, right? A confused sense of sense of self, sense of identity, where we're so merged, right? We don't know how to bond properly. We create these attachments. So we're looking at letting go of these tendencies and letting go of any sort of manipulative tactics, right? Because they don't create authentic relationship, right? If you're doing any sort of dark tactics or, game playing, it does work as far as attraction, but it's not possible to just come out of the game playing and forge a partnership. It doesn't work. You don't come out of the game midway, right? It's never ending cycle until someone just gets tired of it. So it's also saying take a hands-off approach. So in this separation, right? Allow the situation to unfold naturally. Tune in, and is this calling for you to keep your distance, right? Keep moving in life and trust the process. Establish a sense of self-trust. Don't stop abandoning yourself, right? If that's the thing, and figure out a modality or a system or a healer that helps you with that, if necessary, or just be mindful and meditate on this. Can you do any inner work to just ask how can you heal this aspect? Your higher self knows how to heal, right? Much like when your body gets a cut, the body knows how to heal. When we tune into our higher self, there's a higher aspect of ourselves that knows how to heal this already. And as soon as we shine the light there and call on the higher self, the process initiates. And we're guided to a teacher, a healer, a reading, an experience, a piece of art, like a movie or a song that shines a light and brings enlightenment and helps us integrate something, teaches us something. A modality of healing that helps us integrate all this. It makes sense of what we're going through, right? And it's like, oh, it triggers the awareness. This situation is calling for you to have faith. Have faith that if this is meant to be, it's going to come back into union. Free will is involved, so we don't wait on people, right? Free will is involved. Do your inner work. Take control of the aspects you have control over, and that's yourself. That's your inner work. That's your healing path, right? Coming into a state of trust allows us to experience true love, right? But we have to have self-love. We have to have a sense of self-love in order to overflow and give love and attract someone else who's overflowing in love, right? Instead of creating these codependent situations where I put my happiness in your hands and you put your happiness in my hands. It doesn't work like that, right? We're taking care of our own happiness, so we have something to bring to the partnership. Because partnership is in the cards for you, right? Might not be marriage, but if that's what you're seeking, rest in knowing that that's obtainable for you, right? Sometimes we get into the fear of I'm always going to be alone, and but just be aware that your spiritual path might be part of this experience and reason why this is delayed, why partnership is delayed for you, or why you're still working through some of these things before you're attracting your person, right? Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. So know if this is a spiritual partnership, healing is required, right? Healing is required before you come into union. Getting on track with your life purpose is also required. Let's look at what aspect of self in the archetype cards by Carolyn Meese wants to show up. So we're healing these patterns. What approach will be helpful for you in breaking the patterns? Is it following the fear and not letting it remain a loop in your head, right? If you have a fear of abandonment, why follow the loop? What's the worst that can happen if someone leaves, right? If someone never comes back, what's the worst that can happen, right? I once had an amazing friend mentor me through that. I was years ago, I had dated somebody, and it just ended, right? It just kind of a disappearing act, right? It sort of ended, and I really cared about this person, and I just couldn't get over it, right? I was staying in this loop, and I was saying, I just can't face it if he didn't care about me. And my friend was like, can I just coach you on that for a minute? Like, do you mind? Because you're just going to stay there in this loop. And I was like, okay, sure. And he's like, follow the fear. Like, what's the worst that would happen if he didn't care, if he never cared or returned your feelings? And I was like, that he's not coming back. And he's like, well, what's the worst that could happen if he doesn't come back? And it's like, I guess he forgets about me and I forget about him. And he's like, what's the worst that can happen then if you forget about him? I guess I move on to somebody new. Okay, so what's so scary about that? And so it's like getting out of the loop where it's like, I just can't face it. I just don't want to face it. Because then instantly I felt more free. I felt free of that loop, right? I felt like, oh, this no longer has a hold on me. So the archetype that's coming out as hero or heroine, the light attribute, passion for a journey of personal empowerment. The shadow attribute, escapism and a false sense of heroism. So getting in touch and igniting your passion, right? What are you passionate about? Your passion in life, it's fire within you, right? And igniting that fire can burn up some of this excess emotion and attachment, right? Attachment is associated with this exacerbation of water in the system. If we can get in touch with our passion, we get in touch with fire, and fire is medicine for water. It'll help burn up some of that excess, and put us on path with our purpose, right? Through our purpose. Let's go to The Alchemical Tarot Renewed by Robert Place. And let's see what's showing up in the tarot cards to give us a little more information about this connection to either someone we have not met yet or someone who you know, but you're currently in separation. Some more information about this healing journey through this relationship, or healing journey in order to be ready for partnership and creating interdependent connection as opposed to codependent by being hero or heroine of our own lives. On a journey of personal empowerment. Instead of escaping, right, into the fantasy land of the potential of somebody or the potential of a partnership, and that's not reality. We got to see what's really here. We got to pay attention to the red flags. Am I escaping, right? Am I using this person like a drug, right? We want to look at that. Look at these patterns. What part of ourselves are we trying to fulfill through this person? And can we own some of that for ourselves? And use that insight to get on our path, to live in our purpose, to own more of our light, right? If we're admiring somebody and just so in love, we're probably projecting, right, some light attributes onto them that we haven't owned in ourselves. And maybe it is this hero or heroine, right? Maybe we're looking to be saved by somebody. We can save ourselves, right? Can you feel that? Do you sense that you are your own hero or heroine? That's part of this healing path. It's part of this path to empowerment, is not waiting around for someone to save you. Igniting your own passion. All right, let's look at some tarot cards here. All right, I could use the whole deck. Let's not do that. Let's keep this under a certain amount of time. So 8 of Staffs is showing up, and this is really putting your focus on work, right? Putting your focus on purpose, on maybe this healing work, right? Cutting through maybe, right? This person's chopping down a tree. Cutting through some of these patterns, right, that are leading you to the same place over and over again, breaking your own heart, playing yourself right through these patterns. Can we heal this broken heart? What is the source of this wound? Is this involving a parent, right? Generally, we look at relationship to mother because she's our first love when we're looking at bonding and our ability to bond. Is there a broken bond with mother, and can we heal that so that we're able to establish more trust, right? Because when there's a broken bond with mother, and that doesn't have to be due to any separation, right? That doesn't have to be due to any separation in childhood. It can also be lack of attunement because of high cortisol levels when we're in the fetus. It can also be inherited, because our mother's eggs are fully formed when she's, I think, 5 months of fetus in her mother. So we're also inheriting grandmother's environment and experience. So broken bond with mother can be inherited to heal. We look at that when we have mistrust, when we have a tendency to dissociate, feeling rejected, not feeling connected or rooted. And a complete lack of self-worth, right, and identity. And a resistance or inability to ground into the body and connect to earth, right? Because mother is associated with earth, right? Our connection to earth She's the one that births us. So our bond there establishes that connection. So looking at what is the source of this wound that's really creating this heartache over and over again. Let's heal it to the core, right? The core issue. So that we're able to have a mastery of our emotions, observe our emotions, right? Queen of Vessels, mastering emotions, a sensitive, sure, kind-hearted, but able to observe and not over-identify or enmesh with our emotions, right? Our emotional process, in order to gain this sense of independence, right? The Nine of Pentacles in the traditional tarot, this is Nine of Coins in this deck, but a Nine of Pentacles is the independent woman, right? Or person. In the deck, it's a woman. Feeling fulfilled in the material plane, feeling confident, and it's really a symbol of independence. And that's what right, being rooted into the ground, rooted into the ground, but also reaching up. So feeling connected. He then has a Lady of Staffs. A Lady of Staffs is seeking passion, right? She's kind of holding it out beyond herself. She's not really owning it, is she? She's pushing it away or holding it at arm's length. It's not part of her. Maybe it's this perception of passion, right? This perception of I could have passion, but it's out there somewhere. I don't really quite know how to establish it for myself. And then in walks our strength, inner strength, to teach us. This could be, this is the Leo card, right? So it could be maybe you have some Leo in your chart and look at that placement and see how that informs this, right? How that informs this reading, or do you know a Leo, or getting in touch with that inner lion, right? Using the animal as energy medicine. There's a balancing of yin and yang in this card as we look at the sun and the moon, igniting the fire of the heart, right? The passion in the heart. And that's forging strength for this person to move forward in purpose, on purpose. So that we can spark and ignite that sense of passion and creativity within, right? And see it in wonder, right? This lizard is ablaze in its own passion, fire, right? And the fires of passion ignited in creativity and in wonder of this flame and this spark. And that state, that is the state we're looking for, right? That Ace of Staffs. Ace of Staffs. Renewed sense of inner passion, inner fire. Owning that for ourselves will also help us burn up some of this water, right? Of sadness, this wounding. Let's look at what crystal wants to come through. Magnetite. Magnetite, interesting. Magnetic therapy, stability, balance. Magnetite, I attract positive energies into my life. Magnetic therapy, interesting, because at the beginning of this reading, I did talk about how healing is often experiencing the opposite, right? And magnets are attracted through opposites, right? Maybe looking into magnetic therapy, forging a sense of stability and balance. Right? I think that's indicative of this inner strength, right? There is balance in the yin and yang. There's balance because the lion's on all fours and we're balanced on top of that. And a balanced sense of self within a connection, a partnership, right? Stability, grounding, healing the mother wound, healing the bond with mother, a broken bond, helps us ground down and make peace with Mother Earth too, which provides us more stability, more trust. Let's look at what essential oil wants to inform us with its aroma about healing these codependent tendencies, trust issues, control issues, right? This waiting on a savior tendency, right? Waiting on a hero or heroine to save us. Getting in touch with the power that we are, the empowerment that we are our own hero or heroine. What essential oil? Clove. Keyword is presence. Why did this happen to me is the trigger statement. And the true statement, how did this happen for me? Right? Can you be mindful about what this time is teaching you? And the strength that you're forging, right? As you recognize that you are your own hero or heroine, right? Igniting your own passion. Know that you are the star of your life, my dear. You are the lead, and the audience is here for you. You're the lead, right? Are you using someone else as your muse, right? To come out of yourself. You're the lead. Clove is the oil of boundaries. Boundaries. Clove supports individuals in letting go of victim mentality. Victims feel overly influenced by other people and outside circumstances. They perceive themselves as powerless to change their life situations. Clove helps individuals stand up for themselves, be proactive, and feel capable of making their own choices, regardless of others, right? Coming out of this energy where we're holding our passion out and seeking it outside of ourselves into igniting into our own passion. Assists individuals in letting go of patterns of self-betrayal and codependency by reconnecting them with their personal integrity, builds up appropriate boundaries and defenses. Clove gives pushovers the courage to say no. It reignites the soul fire. The soul fire. And can assist anytime there has been damage related to childhood pain, trauma, or abuse. Clove is helpful for breaking free of patterns of abuse by restoring the victim's sense of self and helping them regain strength. Helping them regain strength to stand up for their needs. Clove insists that individuals live true to themselves and the divine by establishing clear boundaries. Positive properties: empowerment, clear boundaries, protection, courageous, independence, capable, proactive, in integrity, right? Independence, proactive, capable, getting in touch with your passion. All right, one card to end this reading. Are you resonating with this message? Tell us your story in the comments. Also, if you recognize any connections or interpret the cards slightly differently, see a different way to interpret, please do share. I sometimes look back at the replay and think, oh, I missed that. I didn't see that in my first interpretation. So if you do notice anything like that, always do comment. I'd love to hear your point of view on that. One last card from the Crazy Sexy Love Notes deck by Chris Carr. One last idea, message, image to wrap up this reading. Invite your fears to tea. Invite your fears to tea. Fears aren't facts. Often they're just scary thoughts or feelings. Instead of judging your fears, invite them to tea. Offer them a cookie and have a chat. Listen to what they have to say. When we're courageous enough to be with what scares us, we receive powerful wisdom. Right? Follow the loop. Follow the fear loop. If you're avoiding it or resisting, right, following through, you're just creating the loop. So follow it through. What's the worst that can happen? Follow the fear, right? And you'll gain power over it. Invite your fears to tea. I hope this reading was helpful and you resonated somehow. If you didn't, maybe it's for someone you know. Please do share with them or anyone that it may help. Like and subscribe so I know I'm on the right track with this channel and I continue doing readings. And if you would like to know more about me, get in touch with me about a personal session, or connect with me on other social media platforms, that information will be in the description of this video. Thank you for taking this time with me and on this particular journey. Don't forget, you are the hero and the heroine and the lead in on this journey of life, right? In your movie, you're the lead. You're the star. Don't forget that. All right. Well, thank you for coming on this journey with me, and I will see you in the next reading. Many blessings to you, empath.